and welcome back. I am the Sovereign and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, hello. Please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. I am in a lounge shirt. I'm chilling. I am working on a lot of projects. A lot of good things have happened. I can't wait to tell you guys all the good things that are happening. Like, I cannot wait. But we are gathered here today in yet another edition of the Court Council to talk about Lil Nas X. If you are unaware, Lil Nas X is a gay black rapper. He recently released a song called Call Me By Your Name that is sending the internet into a frenzy, and I am issuing a warning here. If you are an ultra religious person or you're around any ultra religious people, you may not want to even talk about this. I'm letting you know this has to do with religion, and I know it's a sensitive topic. However, I urge you to be as understanding and compassionate as you possibly can be. He released a video called Call Me By Your Name, which integrates a lot of religious imagery when it comes to Christianity and a little bit of Catholicism, but mostly Christianity. If you watch the video, he's in a simulation, his own interpretation of like the Garden of Eden, and you see him, like a snake person come down and he's like seduced by the snake. And the reason the internet is triggered by this is because further into the video, as you're watching him be persecuted and it's seemingly he's ascending to heaven, you see him then slide down a stripper pole into hell and give Satan himself a lap dance. Y'all, Mama Sovereign has seen the video. I showed her maybe a little while ago. She was in the Discord talking to one of you. You know who you are, one of my nobles. My mom was in there talking, but I showed her the video and she automatically knew what was gonna happen, what was about to go down. And when I first saw the video, I knew, like, I'm not ultra religious, but I am a Christian. And I automatically knew, number one, this is gonna piss off a lot of people. And yes, I do understand it is actually pretty disrespectful. Let's address the disrespect first. If this was another religion, like if it was a Muslim religion and he had the audacity to do this type of visual stuff with the Muslim religion, like the Muslim countries would damn near declare war on the entire United States because of Lil Nas X. Like that, disrespecting people's religion is something very serious. So the fact that it's Christianity really shouldn't negate the fact that it is somewhat disrespectful. And I understand that. Like, I'm not ultra religious, but I would never blaspheme to this extent what he did. So my first reaction was like, oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't. Like, wow. However, because you guys know I'm a very in-depth, detailed thinker, and I do like to see from two sides how things work so that I am able to be more understanding and compassionate. So I do want to talk about Lil Nas X's side and perspective of all this. As a gay black man, this person has been through a lot of persecution. This person has tolerated a lot of harassment, a lot of viciousness, a lot of hate his entire life for being who he is. He has had people tell him his whole life that you're gonna go straight to hell for being who you are. So from an artist's perspective, I understand what he's trying to say. Lil Nas X is saying, fine, if you guys are gonna demonize me, screw it. I'm a throw my fabulous self, slide all the way down my stripper pole into the gates of hell and be the biggest, baddest demon you ever did see. Like, this was his version of flipping the bird to everybody who told him, you're going straight to hell, you can't do what you're doing, you can't be who you are. Like, he threw his middle finger up to everybody who ever told him he can't. That was the point. Lil Nas X is saying, here's your religion and this is how I feel about it. Because people his whole life has been using that against him. Like, I'm seeing the pain that this person has been put through, and he's doing his best to just be like, screw it. Now, once again, from an artist perspective, I never would have advocated for this route, because I do believe religion is very sensitive and there's some respect to be given. And in Lil Nas basically caving to the pressure and just being like, well, if you're going to demonize me, I'm going to demonize myself. Because at the end of the video, he kills the devil and takes the devil's horns and becomes like the biggest, baddest demon. He becomes basically the devil himself. From an artist perspective, I would have rather he not do this, because it's him giving the people who told him he was wrong, it's giving them the satisfaction of being right. You're proving them right by saying, fine, I'm going to be a demon. And now all the religious people are looking at you like, see, I told you. They're looking at all their gay kids and saying, see, I told you, this is what's going to happen to you. He's finally admitting that he's a demon. I would have rather he taken the artistic approach of showing that you can be this flamboyant, outgoing gay person and still party at the feet of the Lord himself. Like, I would have rather seen Lil Nas X ascend to heaven and be who he is at the foot of God and be up in heaven partying and living his best life. I would have preferred that he show people you can be who you are and still be up in heaven living the life. Like, I would have preferred that instead of saying, like, giving everybody else, your detractors, what they want and saying, fine, I'll be a demon. Because I don't believe, obviously, gay people are demonic. I don't think they're demons, and I don't think you're gonna go straight to hell because you're gay. So I would have preferred he show a different image that would uplift gay people instead of being like, well, if I'm a demon, I'm a demon, even though I understand why he did it. So it's just a difference in artistic perspective. I enjoy the artistic expression. I do. Like, I see the symbolism. I see the judgment that he went through. I see the, like, even when he's facing judgment with all these people that are him, but they have like these blue wigs and the curly hair. Black people, tell me this didn't remind you of those like older church ladies, the older Baptist church ladies that are up in the church with their fans looking at you and judging. For those of you who aren't black, that's a thing where when you go to a black Baptist church, you always have those older women who are like ultra religious or they're ultra judgmental, and they literally sit up there with their fans looking at you and judging you. That was giving me like judgmental church black women. That's what that was giving me. And it's one of the reasons that I stray away or tend to stay away from church places, not because obviously I'm a Christian, but church is one of the most, I can't even say it's the most, it's probably the most judgmental place I've ever been in my life. And it makes me very uncomfortable. Because if you want people to follow in your religion, whatever religion it may be, you want to invite them in with welcoming arms. You want to give them a safe place so they feel like they want to come back or be around you. And that's not the setting, that's not the feeling that I've gotten around most churches I've been around. Which is why I tend to stay away, because they put on this face of being pious and being so religious, but they're so mean. A lot of people, obviously not everyone, you can't generalize everyone, but a lot of people, a lot of places, they're just so mean. And you guys know how I feel about that type of toxicity. Like, I have a very visceral reaction, like in my spirit, to stay away from that. So I tend to stay away from church settings because of this. And this should serve as a lesson to people, because for those people that are ultra religious, like super hardcore into their religion, if you are so quick to demonize people or hate people or push you away, if you're gonna push them away, the only place they have to go, the only person that has open arms for the people that you have discarded is the devil. If you push these people away, where else do they have to go but right into the devil's arms? And this is like the lesson for those of you who are extremely religious. If you want to save these people, if you want to draw them in, you cannot shower them with hate or disrespect, because you're pushing them further down a path that you don't want to go. Not to say that I think Lil Nas X is going straight to hell. I have disagreements with the artistic expression, but no, I understand that this was him basically telling off the entire community that hates him and for being gay. You cannot demonize gay people. I think it's so ridiculous to demonize gay people. And saying that, oh, this is a bad reputation to your kids. This is a bad reputation. Well, he doesn't have kids, but this is a bad reputation or bad representation to show to children. My children shouldn't be seeing this. Stop expecting people to raise your children for you. Every time I see that, I'm looking at you like you are the most awful parent. You really think I would let my kids just be up on YouTube, up on TV, watching stuff like this? Especially when they can't decipher the artistic symbolism therein. Like, what are you doing? expecting people you've never met, people on TV, artists, to raise your children for you, to be like, what do you think everybody who's in the entertainment industry owes your child something? Do you think everybody in the entertainment industry is supposed to be an example for your child? That's your job. Just so because this irritates the life out of me. It is your job to be a parent. It is your job to be responsible. It is your job to be a good role model. Stop expecting artists, actors, singers, influencers to be a role model to your child. That is what the parent is for. I'm tired of seeing it. And it's not to say that, people can't be role models for the people around them. It's not to say like that I can't be a role model for specific audiences, but it's not my job. It's not anybody's job other than the parent. So if you're not policing what your children are watching, if you're not putting boundaries in front of your kids, like this, that's just ridiculous. It's the internet. So that's such an invalid argument. And I'm so tired of seeing it. I'm so tired of seeing it. If you're one of those parents that says one of those things, like you're a bad parent, you're a bad parent. You're relying on everybody around you to teach your child except for yourself. Get out of my face. Terrible parenting. Now, like I was saying, it does get worse. I don't so much have an issue. I just don't agree with the artistic representation that he presented for gay people, because I don't think gay people should be demonized. I wish he had uplifted them instead. And I think there was some respect to be shown. The religion, you don't want to mess with people. That's a sensitive point. Even though I understand why he did it. I understand why he did it. But it does get worse. Lil Nas X then released a sneaker called Satan's Shoe. Showed Mama Sabra. We were talking about this morning, but I showed her. And she was like, it's nothing spectacular, right? I don't really think the shoe is anything super spectacular or anything. It's a limited edition shoe. It has a pentagram and a drop of blood for God knows what reason. But he was definitely trying to capitalize off of the release of his video. Whatever. I was whatever with the shoe until I found out that this was not, in fact, a Nike branded shoe. It has a Nike logo on it. It is not a Nike shoe. So as soon as I found out that this was not an official branded Nike shoe, those of you who know, I am taking law classes right now. I'm a political science major. As soon as I found out it wasn't a Nike shoe, lawsuit. Immediately, before it was even announced, I was like, this is a lawsuit. This is a lawsuit. It's a whole lawsuit, because he started getting backlash for the shoe. People hated the shoe. People came out, they were, besides being disgusted with the video, people were mad at the shoe, and they were pissed that Nike would seemingly support this. But Nike wasn't supporting this, but they were getting a lot of backlash for it, to the point where they had to release a statement letting people know it's not our shoe. And I did not understand, if this is not a Nike shoe, why on earth would you put a Nike logo on it? Why on earth would that is begging for a lawsuit, begging for it. Did you think that Nike, the Disney of shoes, would allow it? So as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is a lawsuit. This is a lawsuit. You're taking on, and they're going to win. They are going to win. He had no right. None. Zero. Honestly, I cannot fathom from any standpoint, moral, legal, ethical, any standpoint, how he would justify the use of a logo that he did not have authorization to use. They're gonna win. And Nike has gotten a lot of, negativity because of this, because honestly, obviously not everybody's going to know that Nike's suing. Not everybody's going to know that this is not Nike. So they are losing support, or their image is being damaged because of this, because of what Lil Nas X did. So honestly, that's the one area where I can say definitely he was wrong. He was wrong. He was wrong for doing that. Why would you do that? I don't understand. So there's this big debate online, not even about the shoe, he was totally out of line for the shoe, but just the artistic expression of the video as well. It just seems like he really kind of stepped over the line. He really kind of stepped over the line, even though I understand, he gave the devil a lap dance, and he was like, here's what I think about your religion. Here, fine, if you're going to demonize me, I'm about to be the best demon though. I get a clapback, okay? This was a clapback video. I get being defiant. I get all of that, because I do it too. I get what he's trying to do. I just wish he would have done it in a more positively representative way of the gay community, even though but at this point, I guess you guys understand the lesson that is to be learned here. Don't demonize people for being gay or being of a different religion, or for whatever difference they have with you, all you're doing them is pushing them further into a path that you probably don't want them to go. Lil Nas is incredibly talented. Like, without it, I listened to the song without the video and I'm like, without the video, the song is very catchy. Like, I could hear this being in a lounge, something that I would be like with my friends, you know, as if lounges are open, right? But, you know, chilling, like listening to it. It's not a bad song at all. He's a very talented artist. And I enjoy the fact that he gives this type of artistic representation. He gives this type of artistic video. I love, like, symbolism. I love the expressionism that he is putting in the video. Like, it's very intricate and detailed. Like, I adore that. You know, he's got a big budget to be able to do it. I wish I could do it on YouTube, but Lil Nas is working with M's in his bank account. I am not. But I understand the symbolism. Like, even like my white hair, people don't know this yet, but the first book I ever wrote, my main character has white hair. And I conceived of this book like in 2015 or 14 and finished it in like 2015 or something. But I always loved the fantasy element. It's a fantasy book and she's a fantasy character. And I thought it was so fantastical. And I loved like the white hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, this gives me so fantasy. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. And so that's when eventually I got the mind. I was like, oh, why don't we just do this on the channel? Like, there's a purpose and a symbolism to some of the stuff I've done on the channel that most people won't know for years. But part of the reason I have white hair is because my first character in my book, fantasy character, has white hair as well. Just fun little like Easter egg, right? But I do like the symbolism and I enjoy the artistic expression. Hopefully I'm sure we'll see more from Lil Nas X in the future. It doesn't seem like he's letting this all get him too down. I hope the Nike thing doesn't hurt him too bad because he's probably gonna lose that case. Probably is. But in the comment section below, let me know what you think about the situation. Like, are you one of those like very religious people and were kind of offended by what he did, how he, you know, represented Christianity or kind of made fun of the Bible? I understand your feelings. I do. You know, I kind of feel a little bit the same, though I do understand his side. What do you think about the Nike lawsuit? Is there any defense for what he did? Like, is there a way he can get out of this? Possibly, maybe, I don't know. In the comment section below, let me know what you have to say. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And remember, if this is your first time in attendance, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I would love to see you again in a future court counsel. I love you, I'll miss you, and you know I will be back in a future video. Bye!